Alright, what I got this week? Oh, okay. Well, we're kicking this week off with Marvel Rivals announcing a swimsuit for Squirrel Girl. And the usual crowd's not happy. Who would have thought? Almost as if these people are allergic to fan service, unless it caters to their agenda or twisted ideas. But no one should be surprised at this point, really. We know what these people want and what the modern audience wants. Now, moving on, South of the Midnight is, well, for all intents and purposes, dead and gone, with a peak of just over 1,400 people, all-time peak, mind you. This is at the point of writing as well, and 241 within the last 24 hours. This doesn't feel like something that Microsoft backed, let's be real. And to no one's surprise, Compulsion Games hasn't released any sales numbers. But we have other people claiming that over 1 million players played the game because of sales and Game Pass. Yeah, about that. Game Pass can reduce sales by up to 80% on Xbox, according to Microsoft specifically. And third-party resellers on PC sell either a Steam key or a code for the Microsoft Store. And guess what? The numbers above were from Steam. Let's be real here. A large majority of people who play games on PC are on Steam. That alone tells me that the claims are most likely people downloading it on Game Pass and deleting it after they didn't like what they saw. And last time I checked, that's not a sold copy. Moving on, Sony just can't help themselves recently. They are currently planning on making a new live service team-based action game. That's a mouthful. Despite having multiple live services cancelled, this reminds me of a child trying to shove a square peg in a triangular hole. In one of those child puzzle toys that you match shapes in. You know the kind. Top it off, they're also looking at increasing the prices under the pretext of market trends and tariffs. Thanks, Nintendo. This is from a company that can eat the price increases and still make profits, mind you. Ultimately, it boils down to tell me you're greedy without telling me. And that's not the end. The executive of PlayStation, Jade Raymond, left the studio. According to Bloomberg, Raymond left the studio because the external tests for Fair Games didn't go well. That tells me all I need to roll, really. Now, the game was supposed to be released in fall 2025, but was delayed until spring 2026. Can you smell it? I can. Dead on arrival. And the guy just dipped before the delivery. Now, let's have a little palate cleanser. The first Descendant Season 3 will bring a collab with Nier Automata. This collab will bring new skins and new characters to the game. Let's hope Nexon does the skins justice and not go down the way of Ubisoft. I mean, it's impossible considering how the characters look, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if something goes wrong there. Moving on. Square Enix plans to optimize development costs, release titles on multiple platforms, and expand overseas sales. All of this course changes are expected to be concluded by March 2027. All of that while also in the background discontinuing development for some titles and invest additional funds into titles that require refinement. Their end goal? Quality over quantity. Now, here are 2 free cost optimizations for Square Enix. 1. Get rid of your ethics department. The only thing they do is restrict games and developers' visions. Let the devs cook, for crying out loud, and don't force changes to the developer's vision. 2 simple steps that can make you a lot of money. Don't believe me? Yoko Taro has a thing or two to say in this case. Moving on. Onimusha 2 Remaster will censor one of the costumes in the game. This didn't go down well with Reddit. To quote the top poster, blood, gore, and dismemberment is okay, but pretty women with booba is not. Go Nintendo also posted their coverage on this with the caption, and I quote, "Fans spot an unexpected wardrobe change in Onimusha 2. Samurai's Destiny Remaster. And of course, nobody buys that. We all know this was done because someone found something harmless like the outfit to be offensive because the 50,000 voices in their head from not taking their meds most likely told them they should be offended by attractive women. Grumps on Twitter posted, "This is really what we're calling censorship now? Why aren't you being plain spoken? It encourages needless changes like this." To add to that, this also encourages pointless spending for changes that will harm the vision of the game and impression of the remake. Moving on, you can't have a week where the gamer doesn't embarrass itself by the looks of things. This week, the gamer wants games to be nicer when you die. They gave 2 examples, one where the player gets sniped and dies by falling, and another in Silent Hill 2, where they were playing at night, almost as if they need their baby blanket before picking up a game. The gamer also says that nobody wants to be confronted with their failure. So, when a game mocks us, or even just plainly states the facts of our performance, it can be difficult to hear. They also showed the Wolfenstein's difficulty in mentioning its mocking attitude. Brother in Christ, if your feelings get hurt by a game mocking you, then you have 2 options. 1, don't play the game. Anyone with common sense will go, wait, this might not be for me, and just walk away. Or 2, get good, scrub. In the case of the gamer, that's unlikely to happen. Moving on, Blizzard is back in the news, this time with their collab with Street Fighter. Now, if only they didn't mess things up from the get-go, that would have been great. In an article by Bounding Comics, they cover collab, and here are some of their quote-unquote next-level plays. Instead of giving Chuno the Chun-Li outfit, they gave it to Mei because of Chinese representation. But hey, not like Juno has a feet-focused fighting style or anything, am I right? There are also Kiriko and Juri, and Widowmaker and Cammy costumes that make 0 sense, but hey, this is the company that changed the painting in WoW from a woman to a ball of fruit, so this is nothing new for Blizzard. Considering they changed Cammy's skin by adding black spats to it. Their poor excuse of a collab isn't impressing anyone at this point. Moving on, Ubisoft had their investors call recently and reported a profitable year for the period of 2023 to 2024 after nearly €500 million loss in the previous period. That didn't last long, however, as this year Ubisoft lost €159 million on revenues of €1.9 billion, down 17.5% year on year. To top it off, Ubisoft's preferred performance indicator fell by more than 20% year on year to €1.8 billion. The article on France24 doesn't mention anything about sales, just like the post on Reddit confirmed. To top it off, their investors call didn't end well as the stocks took a sharp dive shortly after. The kicks don't stop there though. Star Wars Outlaws DLC got released and no one really cared, with it currently sitting at 10 reviews at the point of writing. Mind you, it's the end of the weekend. You'd think there'd be more people playing it over the weekend, but hey, there you go. Moving on, the head of Naughty Dog is hosting a history lesson involving the backlash faced by The Last of Us Part 2 for Tati Gabrielle, in order to help her weather the more extreme of her future critics. Mind you, that backlash was self-imposed after they asked everybody's favorite character Joel. The actress reflected on her approach to portray Jordan, considering how much different it is from her usual roles, and even said, "Neil's been bootcamping me." That sounds wrong, mind you. Gabrielle also explained that Druckmann has been talking to her about the outrage level towards The Last of Us Part 2 over its creative choice, even saying, "I know Troy's experience, I know Ashley's experience, I know Laura Bailey's experience." She also elaborated that she got a lot of love, but also a lot of hate for being a woman of color, and shaving her head and Neil said to ignore it, referring to the hate. Mind you, she also posted an image on her Instagram of Jordan and Siri embracing each other in a hug, drinking fragile masculinity made of 100% incel tears with caption, "So delicious." And you mad, bro? If anything, she's stroking the fire herself. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she did not want the role and now is firing back at the studio. Moving on, Warner Bros. Confirmed a 48% decline in revenue from Warner Bros. Games, citing lack of new releases and the long shadow of last year's disastrous Sweet Baby Inc. infestation with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Because of the disaster, executives lost their jobs, stuttering long-standing studios, and it called into question the company's future in gaming. And the fault of this caused the cancellation of highly anticipated Wonder Woman game, probably for the better considering what was found about the team that was making it, and permanently closing Monolith Productions, the studio behind the Middle-earth series and the Nemesis system. Now, personal addendum here, hoping the pattern doesn't get used and becomes available for the public, as the Nemesis system kinda rocks. They are also going to focus on their 4 franchises: Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC, with emphasis on Batman and top tier characters. So it's like a good Middle-earth or Mordor or anything related to Tolkien ain't gonna sell well. Oh wait, a bunch of idiots got put in charge of whatever was made lastly in that universe, so hey, it's the universe's fault, surely. On top of that, they should make sure they give the franchises to people that actually care about them. Now, let's be real here. They're focusing on 4 franchises, but most importantly, they should make sure they give the franchises to people that care about them. That's the best way to make profit, If you have somebody in charge that's into that franchise, that knows what's going on, can actually steer them into making a good story. But hey, this is a corporate decision, so we know it's gonna end in a shit show. Moving on, the Stellar Blade Complete Edition trailer got leaked by Sony and got taken down quickly. Fans managed to download the trailer and upload it to Reddit, showing the release date is the 11th of June. This being the release for PC and PlayStation 5. With new content which includes an EK outfit, the PC version will also have DLSS 4 and FSR 3, unlocked frame rates, ultra-wide support, DualSense support with haptic feedback, and adaptive triggers, and best thing of all, higher resolution. To top it off, someone also showed that the Mountain Peony costume, I hope I pronounced that right, was uncensored. Wait, wasn't that the one that got backlash after they changed it on, what was it, day 1 or day 2? Neat! I mean, what can go wrong in this case? Oh wait, it's Sony. Unfortunately, Stellar Blade is region locked and restricted to countries that have access to PSN. However, the official Stellar Blade Twitter account posted that they're working with the publisher to resolve it as soon as possible, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel on that front. There's also gonna be the Nuvo, however. They showed a chart comparing frames per second between the protected and unprotected versions. My money's on somebody's gonna crack this thing at one point, gonna get higher performances, and compare it to what they showed. Let's be real here, the Nuvo's like the bane of everybody's existence on PC. I'm not gonna be surprised if somebody does that. There will be mod support without any restrictions, and PlayStation Network connection is entirely optional. Almost as if Sony learned from Helldivers. Yay! Last thing they confirmed is that both PlayStation 5 and PC will offer the same content. Now yes, the Nuvo has been proven to be a performance hog, and let's be real, locking out 120 plus countries out of buying something that doesn't require your ecosystem to function is financially stupid. Nobody's gonna dispute that, I hope. Add to that the €70 cost of the game and it quickly drops to buy it on sale type of deal for me. But hey, it's Sony after all. What did I expect? Moving on, Bungie stole art. Again. This time they accused a former employee of stealing said art. However, Billion on Twitter stated that it wasn't a former employee, it was the art director of Marathon that did so. Oh boy, are we surprised? The artist that had their art stolen also posted comparisons on Twitter showing their designs and where Marathon used them in their game. The Marathon dev team posted on Twitter that they will immediately investigate the unauthorized use of art decals, even claiming it's an unknown issue. They also claim to value the creativity and dedication of all artists who contribute to their game. Now, this guy didn't contribute to the game, let's be real. This guy's art was clearly stolen and used in said game. Prove me wrong. Games Counselor on Twitter also replied to the dev's tweet, mentioning this isn't the first time this happened, has shown a picture of the known instances of Bungie stealing art in the past. DualShock also posted an insane quote stating, "I'm completely floored, this is my full-time job, I sell these posters online. They are not obscure. A major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or trace rather than license or commission the work." Mind you, the creator of the stolen art never mentioned anything of the sort, even going as far as tagging them on Twitter saying, "Insane fake quote lol, I am unemployed." What a mad lad. And lastly, the Genshin VA situation continues. This time, Mayaoki Tutel, I hope I pronounced that right, another VA for Genshin, stated her support for SAG after the strike and how SAG provided her health insurance when her daughter was injured. This was a response to a deleted post, and judging from the context, it sounds like it was an ultimatum based on her second response, since she stated she couldn't do anything about it until there's an interim agreement. A few VAs who were part of the collective work refusal praised her for sticking to her guns. However, in a different post where Maya states she doesn't judge anyone for their work choices, there were only 2 replies from the same person. Both of the replies marked as rude, one of them showing the tweets about Megan and her Taft-Hartley experience, and another reminding people that SAG's health insurance only works for less than 20% of the VAs. Not to be left out by this, the Genshin subreddit also picked up on this, and one of the comments mentioned that it's a big problem with the healthcare being tied to employees/jobs, with another person also saying that dangling people's healthcare insurance over their head is beyond diabolical. Healthcare should be accessible to begin with. Now, this VA hasn't been in the spotlight during the Genshin VA meltdown, and by the looks of things is just sharing her experience with SAG's health insurance, and hasn't attacked the player base, hasn't bad-mouthed anyone to boot. Hopefully, Maya doesn't have to worry about her or her daughter's health in the future. And to the VAs that are assholes to the community, may the job market be favorable to you. That was that for this week. If you liked it, hit the like button, dislike it if you dislike it, post comment, and I'll see you in the future.